Coming up next, I'm going to help you see how passion relates to your work, and then a current outlook of the job market right now in America. And of course, we're going to take your calls, and it starts right now. All right, here we go. Welcome to the Ken Coleman Show. I'm Ken, thrilled to have you with us. You have joined a conversation about your purpose. You were created to fill a unique role. You were needed. You must do it. Let me just tell you what your purpose is right now. Your purpose is to use what you do best, to do work you love, to produce results that matter to you. I'll say it again so that you get it. While the specifics aren't there in your sentence yet, your purpose statement is to use what you do best, to do work you love, to produce results that matter to you. When you do that, you are on purpose. You are doing what you were created to do, and you're contributing to this world. All of a sudden, work is no longer work. It is an opportunity for you to show up and make your mark. We want to help you figure out what that is, or if you know what it is, how do you get there? 844-747-2577 is the number. The answer lies within our 7 stages. Get clear, get qualified, get connected, get started, get promoted, get the dream job, give yourself away. Folks, you can get there. There is a clear path, and we want to help you out. But first, let's step back for just a moment and really dive in. For some of you who are still new to the program or you're a little bit cynical around this idea of work, is it possible to love your work? Is the dream job you speak of, Ken, is it possible? Or is it this unicorn type position that only a few fortunate souls luck into? Well, the answer is it's out there. In fact, there's multiple dream jobs. What defines the dream job? Well, pretty simple. I just laid it out for you. When you're on purpose and you're in a great culture. That would be the 4th element. Talent, passion, mission, culture. Use what you do best, talent. To do work you love, passion. To produce results that matter to you, mission. Oh, by the way, and it's in a healthy culture. That's the dream job. And there are multiple dream jobs, multiple paths to get there. But I want to step back and look at this idea of passion, because passion is thrown around all over the place, certainly in personal growth, and motivational speakers use it. Some people poo-poo it. Oh, don't go after your passion. That's a foolhardy decision. And it's just incomplete information, and it's misleading so many people. So we got to understand, why do I actually use the word passion to refer to work you love? Here's why. The root word from the Latin language, which I find to be the most beautiful, most powerful language there is. In Latin, the root word is pati. Pati. And here's what it means: to suffer or to endure. It's the idea of suffering or enduring. And you're going, well, Ken, turns out this job I can't stand, it is passion because I'm suffering in it. No. What this means is to suffer for something. In fact, I've heard it and read it this way: it is a form of pain that demands it be quenched. Passion, a form of pain that demands it be quenched. It's a longing. The word pati in the Latin became a form of the word that we now use in the English language, passion, in the very, very early, just outside of the death of Jesus, and Christians began to refer to it in the sense of the suffering to be a disciple, the suffering to live their faith out. That's how it began to come alive. This idea of, hey, I'm going to live this way, I'm going to believe this way, and it will come with a form of suffering and enduring. And even if you ascribe or prescribe to the Bible at all, the Apostle Paul talks a lot about endurance and perseverance, this running the race. Okay, and if you go back to those times, I mean, the sports were limited to essentially the early Olympic Games, right? The physical races. And so we see all this language around the root of what now we call passion. Now, over time, it began to take on a sexual connotation, an emotional connotation as it relates to the human relationship. However you apply it, the reality is this: The beauty in the word itself is that we see that when we care deeply about our work, what is at the core of the caring, passion, is in fact this pain, a form of it that needs to be quenched. I took a call yesterday. I was co-hosting the Ramsey Show. And I took a call from a young man who said, Ken, hey, I've got a question for you. My soon-to-be father-in-law owns an accounting firm. He makes good money. Several accountants on the staff make good money. I'm in school for something totally different. But, you know, being in accounting leads to a really nice career. Should I make a decision on my career based on money only? And I said, absolutely not. Because you'll step into that accounting, and if you don't have a passion for it, you don't have a hunger, a desire, a form of pain that must be quenched around numbers, you're going to wake up 6 months later or sooner and be miserable. I said, what'd you go to school for? He said, counseling. I said, did you think that you were going to go to counseling? Do you want to go into counseling? He said, yes. I said, why? And he said what so many callers on this show have said to me. Because in my life, growing up, I had siblings that were in and out of substance abuse programs, in and out of different homes. And I faced so much trauma from that I ended up seeing a counselor. And I said, did that counselor help you with breakthrough? Is that counselor somebody that you look at as somebody that had a huge impact on your health and your growth and your future? He said, absolutely. I said, so that's why you want to go into counseling? He said, yeah. Now, in his particular story, there is, in fact, this pain that has turned into passion. What does he want to do? He wants to help others avoid it. He wants to help others get through similar pain. And the mental and emotional health, the counseling, the helping people heal, helping people have hope that there is a brighter future, a healthy future. That's what I mean when I say passion. So when we talk about this on the show, it's what work do you love? You are willing to suffer, listen to me, getting qualified. You are willing to suffer getting connected. You are willing to suffer getting started. That's stage 2, 3, and 4. When I went after broadcasting, Joe Hankin is sitting in the control room today. He will tell you that what I went through was absolutely a form of pain that needed to be quenched. I desired to broadcast to help people. But in order to do that, come on, Joe, I had to show up on Saturdays at 2 o'clock and do a show and suck at it.
Well, you were there. I won't say you sucked.
I sucked. Joe's just a very nice, positive person. And my point is, you have to, as my mentor Dave Ramsey says, embrace the suck. Can I tell you that when you do anything for the first time, or you go through stage 2, get qualified, you go through stage 3, getting connected, you get rejected, you go through stage 4 and you start something and you suck at it, can I tell you something? It's painful. But we endure that pain because we must quench the desire to do work we love that also matters deeply to us. That's passion and mission. Folks, that's why I call it passion. And you're never going to get it until you come to the reality that there is work out there that you will deeply love to do, and you will suffer whatever it takes to be able to get to do that work. So there you go. 844-747-2577. Let's go. Get to the phones. Tim starts us off in Dayton, Ohio. Tim, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hi there. Thank you so much for having me, sir.
You bet, Tim. What's up?
So I'm going to give you a little background for my question, then I'll lead up into it. So I started out at my current organization at entry-level pay with basically only educational experience of a few degrees with minimal real-world experience. Over the past 7 years, I've excelled. I obtained certifications and recognition for the company, and I've produced a 6-figure ROI every year for the company. I've been promoted and also performed speaking engagements for the organization. I have sacrificed a lot of nights, weekends, and traveled for the organization. And I absolutely love the company I work for. There's a lot of passion involved with it. My schedule's flexible. I'm able to work for my mentor, and the benefits are pretty decent. However, I'm making well below the national average for my position. So according to a couple salary websites that I've researched, I'm below the 10% of earners in my field with my experience in education. And I have received an increase annually, but with how low I came on board, this has not made a huge impact. So I understand you have to enjoy your work, and as you were just speaking on, you really have to have a passion for it and love your job. But it's difficult to see when I see job postings and even receive offers from substantially more than I make currently from other companies. So how would I ask for a significant increase to get proper compensation for the role I'm in? Because currently when I compare salaries, sometimes I feel undervalued for the work I'm putting in.
Have you ever had this conversation with this leader who is your mentor, if I heard you correctly?
In certain ways throughout reviews, I've brought it up. And
have you brought up
usually,
the detail that you just gave me? Because you've done your homework.
Yes. Every review I do put in the exact. I do a screenshot of the graphs that are showing up on the salary website.
Yeah, I think I know where this is going. I hope you're prepared for this.
Okay.
What is the direct response? There's got to be some response. You're showing him numbers. You're going, here's the range. I'm in the lowest 10%, if I heard you correctly.
The benefits and advancements we receive through our organization can sometimes outweigh the monetary value that we get as a salary.
That's what the response is?
Yes.
Do you agree with that?
I do agree that the position I'm put in, especially for my age, has definitely advanced me in my career for sure. And the experiences that we get in our positions, especially in the field we're in, definitely hold a lot of value. But as I mentioned before... Hold on a
second. I'm with you. But so you agree that those things have been valuable for you, but they're only valuable for you if you go outside of the organization, because outside of the organization, they're going to go, wow, you've done this at this age. You've got this certification. Wow. So you're valuable outside the organization, but you're not valuable to the monetary degree that you believe you should be inside the organization. True or false?
True. And I sometimes wonder, should I reduce my value in an organization solely to my salary?
No, because that's absolutely against what I teach. Then you are a cold and timid soul that Theodore Roosevelt talked about. You're just going, well, they're only going to pay me this much, so now I'm going to provide what I think is the value for that. And now all of a sudden you're going to downshift significantly. How's that going to feel every day going into that?
Definitely unmotivated.
That's what you want to do?
Absolutely not.
Then why'd you ask me that? You knew I was going to smack that back. That's not who you are. Tim, you're a rock star. I don't even know why you asked me that. Why did you ask me that?
I think with the investment I have in the organization, and for how much I feel like they have done for me, almost in a defense of, I should feel my worth to the organization is more than just the salary that they provide. And I do. I do.
It is. But that's not the way you couch the question. You sat down with your leader and you've shown them anecdotal evidence. And they just go, and your leader's going, well, sorry, this is what we're going to pay you. He or she is not denying that you're paid on a low scale, correct? They're not denying that.
No.
They're not saying that your info is wrong. They're saying you need to be happy with what you got, but you're not, and that's why you called me. I don't think you are an indentured servant. Do you know what that is? Do you know the background of that phrase?
Not necessarily, no.
Okay, great. I'm going to tell you what it is. So, back in colonial times, an indentured servant, and it's still, in some ways, it's a form of slavery, and it happens still in this world. But the indentured servant was somebody who would leave, for instance, from England and come to America for the hopes of a better life. But they couldn't afford the passage. So what they would do is they would become indentured servants, and they would serve the person who paid for their passage And many times it would be as long as 7 years. And they would have to work for a series of years to then pay off the debt. Your spirit is one of an indentured servant right now. Well, they've done a lot for me. They've allowed me to do this at a young age. They've allowed me to do this, this, and this. And yet, you know you're being underpaid. And when you bring it up, they kind of go, sorry, we're not going to pay you that. And you should be grateful for all the work you get to do and all the other things. And again, if that's your position and that's where you feel you need to be, well, that's your call. I'm not going to endorse that. And by the way, that's not what you want to do either. In fact, I think you called me to get my permission for you to leave.
If there was something else lined up, possibly. But if I wanted to give this another shot, is there a better way to go about asking for an increase that would be this significant?
What else do you need to do? I mean, do you need a PowerPoint presentation? Do you need, I don't know what else you're going to present to them that you haven't already presented. Am I correct?
Yeah, I believe so.
I mean, what are we going to do? Poster board this time? My point is, you've done everything you can do. I think you know that.
Understood.
Here's what I think. I think you're a really good dude. In fact, I think you're top shelf. And I'm not talking about your talent. There's no question you're a rock star. I think you're an even better person. But what you got to be careful of is that you don't allow guilt to hold you back. Because I think you have a certain amount of guilt you're wrestling with to even look outside of these walls because you love this company. Those are your words. And your boss is your mentor. And I think you're handcuffed to this person. And he knows it. And I'm going to tell you right now, as good of a person as this guy is, he's really blown it on this conversation. And if he were in this room right now, I'd give him about 7 reasons how he blew that conversation with you and how he's got to invest in somebody like you or the Tims of the world are going to leave. I think you start looking today. So here's the answer to your question, but it's not the one you expected. Start looking today. And I want you to find multiple opportunities or maybe one really good one and get an offer in hand and walk in and go, hey, I love this company. I love you. You've poured into me. I'm grateful, but I've got dreams. I've got goals, and I want to move up the ladder, and that includes finances. And I've got an opportunity to do that. I don't want to leave, but I'm going to take this offer. If you want me, it's got to be this, and I'm out. And that's what you got to do. 844-747-2577. Jennifer is joining us now in Virginia Beach, Virginia. Jennifer, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hi, Ken. Thank you so much for taking my call today.
You bet, Jennifer. What's up?
Well, my question is, how can I transition into the service field? Well, not transition. I've been in customer service for many, many years in various capacities, whether it was over the phone, in person, and I've enjoyed it, but I wanted something more, something where I can serve more, I guess be more hands-on, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. But let's go deeper. I get what you're saying, but you and I both need to hear you say more specifically what that means. Hands-on with who? Hands-on how? Describe that.
Hands-on for me means being creative. I like being creative. I took the quiz, and I have the purpose statement.
Oh, good.
And
the Get Clear career assessment. Read that to me, please.
Sure. It says, I was created to use my talents of discernment, justice, communication to perform my passion of teaching, leading, promoting to accomplish my mission of service by producing assistance and protection.
How'd that feel when you read it the first time and then just now?
The first time I read it, I thought the justice. I thought, I wasn't sure about the justice part.
Yeah.
Discernment and communication, teaching. The other ones made sense to me. To me, it felt good to read it. It did. It felt good.
Now, the first time you read it, you weren't sure about justice, but it seems like now you get it. You get that definition of that talent in you. Yes or no? You still wondering?
No, I don't.
You don't get it?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I mean, I like what's right.
Yep.
I'll speak up if I don't think something's right. Yes.
Right. That's all that's. So what's interesting is when you took the assessment, you answered the questions around that came out loud and clear. That it's not just, do you care about right and wrong? Most people care about right and wrong. The issue is, are you willing to speak up about it? Are you willing to do something to make something right that's wrong?
Yes.
Is that you?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's actually spot on. Here, but here's the deal. When you do an assessment like that and you've got tens and hundreds of thousands of people taking it, you got to give generalities. But here's where the justice piece comes in. Your number one missional result was service. That's people-based.
Yes.
You said, I've been in customer service. I want to be more hands-on. I said, how? You said, I want to be more creative. I ask you again, how? How are you more creative in working with people to make things right? How?
The way that I would love to do that would be to encourage people. I'm an encourager, and I've always gotten compliments about my voice. If I worked in the office, the old school, when they had an answer machine, they wanted me to be the one to leave the message when someone would call in. Over the phone.
Interesting.
Just always about my voice.
It connects to people. Yeah.
So I would love to be able to use my voice, like you said, to connect to people.
Yeah.
I haven't done anything with it, but I actually have a voiceover demo, both commercial and narration. So I'd love to do something like that where I can just connect. And
let me ask you this. Yeah. So I don't mind the voiceover idea. That's the creative side of you. And I think you should do that as a side hustle. But as it relates to work that you would be deeply passionate about, that's very missional. This idea of serving others. See, the work you love is the teaching, the leading, the promoting. That is an encourager. That's a professional encourager. A leader does that. A teacher does that. A promoter does that. So again, with an assessment like this that we built, you gotta look at the word from different angles. Promoter in your situation promoting does not mean carnival barker selling cars. Marketer. Promoting in your world is encouraging people. I'm going to promote you to yourself. I'm going to help you get promoted to the next. You want to be hands-on and encourage people. So here's the $1 million question. Who are the people you most want to encourage? What problem or desire do they have? And the solution is encouraging. You might encourage them through teaching. You might encourage them through leading. I don't know. You starting to see how this is all coming together?
I am.
So answer the question. Answer right now without any filter. Who are the people you most want to encourage? What are they dealing with? Or what do they desire?
I would say, I guess, believers, because I worked in ministry for so long. I too am a believer. But non-believers too, because everybody that I know isn't a believer, old friends or whatever. I've been that person people would call when they want to know something. Girl, let me run this past you or what have you. So just people.
Yeah. So
people.
So I'm just going to throw this out there to get your brain rolling. But a role in full-time ministry where you are connecting with people and encouraging people. You could be a person who is coordinating small groups at a megachurch, where you're leading and encouraging the small group leaders. That's just one super specific example. You tracking with me so far?
Yes.
Do you see how that would fit? You'd be using your voice, but in a way of communicating and encouraging people, teaching, leading. See, that's the work you love. By the way, we talked all about talent. And by the way, that again, I want to come back to justice. For you, it's about making things right. You've got a talent for, I want things to be restored. I'm good at that, making sure right happens. Now, here's the deal. When you read passions, your top passions as teaching, leading, promoting, did that hit a nerve with you?
It did.
There you go. Again, we're not talking about titles of that. I'm a teacher in a school. Doesn't mean that. A teacher's an instructor. Leading is influencing. Teaching is instructing. Promoting is encouraging. You see where I'm going here?
Yeah.
So I want you to take that purpose statement. And now that you know it's absolutely right on and it's a giant arrow pointing to the world at work, and I want you to begin to look, whether it's in ministry, nonprofit, maybe, who knows, even in the business world, or maybe you were in HR. I don't know. I'm trying to get your brain wide open to where you go, let's look at the work. Let's look at the work. Does it match up with what my purpose statement is? And then when we look at the description, we match it up with a purpose and we go, I can do this. Now I got to get qualified. I got to get connected so I can get started. All right. Hey, for those of you out there that are considering a job change, career switch, I know what you're dealing with. Your emotions are, there's so much frustration in the job market, so much frustration in how many resumes I got to fill out. I submit. I don't hear anything. It's like crickets. It's excruciating. It's frustrating, excruciating, debilitating, because I feel like nobody cares. They're not even looking at my resume. That's why my friends at ZipRecruiter can help. Number 1 rated job site in the United States. Why? One-click apply feature. Once that profile is filled out at their website, ZipRecruiter.com/Ken, that's where you go. They immediately take on the recruiting role, and they're taking your profile, and they're now shopping you to jobs that are with companies that are paying ZipRecruiter. It's free to you. Companies are looking for you. And here's the best part. When a company looks at your profile, likes your profile, asks to be able to contact you because they contact you directly. ZipRecruiter gets out of the way. You get an update from ZipRecruiter, so you see progress. You get excited, you get the juice, keeps you up. And you're not filling out a resume every time. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/Ken. It's free. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/Ken today. Okay, quick break. When we come back, we're going to look at what the job market in the U.S. is going to look like in the months and maybe the year ahead. This is the Ken Coleman Show.
We were drawn to Christian Healthcare Ministries because we both had young families and we wanted to have more children. And we had also just started a real estate company and needed to find healthcare coverage that would meet our needs.
We were attracted to CHM because of its low monthly costs and the ability to negotiate medical costs down.
Established in 1981 and accredited by the Better Business Bureau, CHM is here to meet the needs of your growing family or small business. Check us out at chministries.org.
We absolutely believe in it.
All right, folks, welcome back to the Ken Coleman Show, where we help you move from paycheck to purpose so that you are making the income you desire and the impact that you desire. Work doesn't have to suck. It's not a 4-letter word. 844-747-2577 is the phone number. I love to bring to you folks the latest news as it relates to you, so that you know what the trends are, you know what the data says, you know what could be coming so that you're always prepared. We like to call it In the News. Okay, headline from MSN and Bloomberg: fewer pediatricians, more cooks seen in dismal U.S. jobs outlook. So I clicked on this. I was like, okay, well, that's really interesting. Dismal U.S. jobs outlook? What? We got 10.4 million jobs right now. I mean, there's some people in the media that they are designing headlines for one reason and one reason only: to distract you and get you to click. So this is a dishonest headline. And I just want to call that out. It's dishonest. In the dismal U.S. jobs outlook. It's not dismal. In fact, it's the best time to move. But anyway, here's the context. Technology will eliminate some roles over the next 8 to 9, 10 years as we look towards 2030. There's no question that technology is going to eliminate roles. But what you don't hear is that technology will continue to spawn new roles. Also, we're going to have a lot of retiring baby boomers that are going to drop off. Okay? So what will happen is companies will innovate and pivot and will say, well, we had a really good, baby boomer in this role. They're moving on. How do we take what they did, their expertise, and we combine it with some technology, innovate the role, whatever. That's just going to happen. So you'll see shifts in the type of jobs that are available. And you're going to always see low-wage sectors evolving and changing. But here's what I want you to see. Here are the fastest growing job occupations based on hiring now and then what economists are saying are the trends going forward. Health services managers. This is not a traditional, when you hear this is not a nurse, a doctor, or a PA. We're talking about, if you think about all the stuff around healthcare, we're talking health services managers. Now, that title is pretty wide open, but we're talking about people that are administrating, serving the patient, dealing with all of the back-end operations, insurance, everything. Exploding field. Home health, personal care aides, exploding. As the baby boomer generation continues to age, you're going to see home health care explode. So this is a situation where if you take the Get Clear career assessment and you score high in advocating, caregiving, protecting, and your missional result, highest missional result is service, home health care. I mean, it's going to be flexible. You go in, you get out. So there you go. Very interesting stuff. Be on the lookout. Data scientist, physical therapy, all kinds of installation and more trades. So there you go. Take a look at that. Don't get discouraged by all the negative headlines. I'm going to tell you something. The job market is absolutely very bright. All right, I got to get out of here. But before I do, remember this. You matter, and you do have what it takes. Until next time, this is the Ken Coleman Show. Press on.